Honda is well into its fourth decade of Goldwing production now, and needless to say, it's now a much different world than the one for which its most prestigious buyer is clearly in the factory's still venerable GL. Reduced bulk and updated looks are just the bait. The hook lies in the renewed Focus performance. Sure, the wing is cornered less like a dresser and more like something from one of the sportier categories. But the Red Riders managed to improve further on that point by shedding nearly 100 pounds off the overall weight with the same low center of gravity. The all-new engine comes in the typical flat 6 configuration and 1,833cc displacement with 124.6 ponies just waiting to be called upon. What else has Honda done to try to make the wing something other than my grandfather's bike to the younger buyers? Read on and find out. Continue reading for my review of the Honda Goldwing and Honda Goldwing Tour. Leaner in nearly every way. The new GW sports a similar mug up front with an array of lights set into a wide V pattern across the entry of the front fairing, but the new family sports LED bulbs that allow for smaller, cooler-looking light shapes while maintaining a safe and legal level of illumination. A trimmed-down, electronically adjustable windshield comes with ample ventilation in order to help smooth out the air at the point of reintegration for a headed buffet-free riding experience for both rider and passenger. Naturally, the Tour model comes with a full-length screen while the base wing sports a cut-down windshield that changes the character of the bike immensely. Beyond that, the head-on view is similar in design to its predecessor, if not proportion. The turn signals come integrated with the mirrors just like the previous gen, even though the mirrors themselves come with a fresh design that seems to double as some sort of spoiler. Tucked away under the protection of the windscreen is an instrument cluster that could rival that of a small aircraft. Front and center we find a 7-inch TFT LCD screen braced by a pair of analog clocks for the Speedo intact. Embedded across the top of the dash are a series of idiot lights with cluster data feeds on a pair of LCD displays at the bottom sides. All pertinent info is represented here, to include a tire pressure monitoring system, and that's always nice to have for peace of mind. Seriously, I've seen Christmas trees with fewer lights on it. And this instrument panel tells you everything you need to know, plus some things that probably haven't occurred to you. The top-down view of the 5.5-gallon fuel tank is as inglorious as ever. And the saddle carries a minimal rise to the pillion for near-level seating. Here, we have the divergence in design and purpose between the two versions of this new GL1800. The Tour model comes complete with the customary hard panniers and top case that doubles as a passenger backrest, while the base model is more of what you would call a boulevard cruiser, which is to say, a bagger as opposed to a full dresser. Yeah, it's less in the way of storage, but it conforms to a look that has recently exploded in popularity in an effort to pull in the younger buyers. At the rear end, the broad trailing edge is clean and elegant with stylish taillights and a low-profile plate holder on the fender. One unusual feature of note would be the square exhaust system. It's odd-looking, but Honda makes it work. A twin spar frame forms the standing structure. The factory took it back to the drawing board for tweaking and tuning in order to engineer the stiffness and flexion that contributes to supple handling and stability under cornering loads. The steering head holds the front end at a Johnny 30.5 degrees with 4.3 inches of trail and that legendary Goldwing handling, i.e., stable in the straights and sports bike-like in the corners. The front suspension is a curious, double wishbone arrangement that uses a single Showa shock in lieu of the standard hydraulic fork front end. Outback, a pro arm, single side swing arm and Pro Link shock floats the rear with 4.1 inches of travel to go with the 4.3-inch travel up front. On top of that, the Tour comes with an electronic preload suspension feature that brings effortless compensation for changing passenger and cargo loads to the table. That's right, no dirty knees. Wet weight falls somewhere between 787 pounds at the bottom and 842 pounds at the top, so it takes a lot of brakes to haul it down. Honda has it covered with a pair of 320mm discs up front and a 316mm disc in back with its electronically controlled combined ABS on Overwatch. A pair of radial mount 6-pot calipers anchor the front with a very definite bite, and a 3-piston calipers slows the rear, so you've plenty of brakes and the backup systems to use them with confidence. The engine got a redesign mainly in an effort to reduce its overall size. Not only did the factory accomplish that goal by eliminating 29mm from the overall length, but they also pared off 13 pounds in the process. Part of the weight savings comes from the Unicam valve train that shares not only a cam, but a single lobe for each of the two intake exhaust valve pairs, and part of it comes from the aluminum cylinder sleeves. That's right, aluminum cylinder sleeves that deliver exceptional cooling performance, but I have to wonder about the wear, to be honest. One of the niftier new things is the two-way starter-alternator unit that performs the first of those tasks, then the second for an all-in-one device that completely eliminates another device. The engine has a square layout with a 73mm bore-and-stroke for a total displacement of 1,833 cc and a 10.5:1 compression ratio that will have you at the premium pump. A ride-by-wire throttle controls the induction through a 50mm throttle body, and it enables some of the nifty subsystems, such as the cruise control, hill start assist, and for the DCT-equipped models, walking mode with reverse. Never break a sweat trying to Fred Flintstone around a parking lot again. The dual-clutch transmission comes with 7 speeds to keep you in the usable power band through automatic, clutchless shifts, and on the 6-speed manual. A approach against excessive back torque, causing the dreaded wheel hop on hard downshifts. Overall performance puts the family in power tour country with 125 pounds of grunt and 124.6 ponies to call upon. Sure, it takes a lot of oomph to pull a ride like this out of the hole, but Honda makes sure you have that much and plenty more. Honda offers 5 variants on the GL1800 platform, and each come with their own level of trim and price tag. At the bottom, the base model, wing with the bagger look, will set you back $23,500. Go for the DCT version and that creeps up to $24,700. Moving into the Tour models, we've got the manual shift Gold Wing Tour at $26,700 with the Tour DCT at $27,700 and the Tour DCT airbag that'll set you back $31,500. While the BMW K1600 GTL and Kawasaki Venture were certainly attractive competitors, I decided to go straight to the king of American tour bikes with the Harley-Davidson Electra Glide Ultra Classic. The base Gold Wing Tour will be our competitor, so let's get to it. Looks are subjective, and I must confess I come with a predisposition for the looks of the Harley. That said, the Red Riders didn't veer quite far enough into the cool zone in my opinion, but all that matters is what you think of the looks. Honda isn't trying to copy or reproduce an American style, but it does compete in the same market, so it offers a similar layout and riding posture, even if the general aesthetic has a different flavor. Harley leads the way with a fork-mounted fairing rather than a frame mount like the Wing, and while the windshield is vented to combat a head buffet effect, it comes fixed in place and non-adjustable. Harley's instrumentation falls a little short of the somewhat overdone Gold Wing, but the touchscreen infotainment display adds an element of functionality Honda doesn't offer. It's a trade-off. Passenger comfort is a front-burner issue on both bikes, and storage carrying capacity is also high across the board. The Moco runs a classic front end with Showa's hydraulically damped telescopic forks that come non-adjustable, but with the dual bending valve technology that delivers a better than vanilla ride. Harley breaks even with the brakes too. A link brake system balances braking effort between the rear caliper and dual front calipers with ABS protection, much like the Wing. Power-wise, both are to be respected as Harley brings 1,753 cc and 111 pound-feet of torque to the table against 125 pounds from the Wing. But Honda wins out in the engine electronics department as well as the stump pulling department for a greater technical appeal. In an unusual turn of events, Harley beats Honda at the checkout with a $25,299 tag on the top paint packages versus $26,700. And while it's fair to say that at those prices a grand or two more or less isn't likely to sway a buyer, it's rare for HD to come in lower than anyone. It's still a Wing and it still ain't my thing, though I will admit that I just recommended one to my father who is in the market for a larger tourer, and preferably one with reverse. So I guess in my eyes it's still a grandfather's bike. Will the younger buyers respond? We'll see.